I got record light on. I have live streaming is in. I think everything's gonna work. And I'll see you in a little bit. Do you want to let people in now?
Well, it's just Gail Johnson waiting.
Okay.
We have 3 more minutes. We have 3 more minutes.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the flood of people.
Want me to admit people because you're going to be letting people, or do you want me to do the intro because you're going to be admitting people?
No, I should be okay.
Okay, you're good. Yep, you're fine.
Okay, but I'm going to let people in now because you've got 3 people waiting and it's 2 minutes to.
Great job, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Hello, everybody from Winnipeg, Canada.
Hey, Barry.
Hello.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Gary or Gail.
Hi, Tracy. Hi from Madison. I've missed your show. I try to catch it on YouTube.
Oh,
You need to share it too. It's just so much is going on right now in the talent
busy.
market. People trying to find talent right now is all consuming in every industry.
Easy.
I don't know if that's ever a topic for you guys.
are we ready to go, Jen?
Yes, we are. Are you ready to go, Tracy?
I am ready.
I am just so excited about this. This is going to be great.
There you are.
You want to kick us off?
Yep. So good morning, everybody. My name is Tracy Champagne, and we want to welcome you to the Connect Show. The Connect Show is a celebration of small business owners, and we would like to give you the resources you need to be successful. Today, we've changed up our show just a little bit. Kim is on vacation, and we do not have one of our guests, so it's going to be a little bit of an different experience today, but I think it's going to be great.
I think it's going to be fantastic. And, you know, to start off the show, let's put some information in the chat. And, you know, today's show is about quarterly goals. How many of you do quarterly goals on a regular basis. And the goals could be something like, I just want to be a better person, or I want to lose 5 pounds, or whatever it is. But how many of you have quarterly goals with metrics? And I'd love to hear how many of you do that. And this will give us some information for Jackie to kind of coach you through this as we get through the show.
So please like and subscribe if you're listening to this on podcast, LinkedIn, YouTube, or the Facebooks, and reach out to us at theideas@theconnectshow.com. If you're watching this and not on Zoom right now, go to bit.ly/The Connect Show to join us and get your questions answered by our experts. Today, we're going to talk about quarterly goals for 2022 with Jackie Zach from Action Coach. She was supposed to have Bill Vincent joining her today, but he was not able to attend. So we have Jackie all to ourselves. So we're going to get a lot of cool information from her, and we're going to bombard her with questions and all about how to make our next year the best.
And before we get to the lab, I want to do an audible and catch you off guard, Tracy, but I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about this.
Oh, no.
So, Tracy, think of one SMART goal for Q1, and when we get done, we can talk to Jackie, and you and I can ask Jackie for a little bit of coaching about your one goal for quarter one, and a SMART goal, something measurable, something with metrics. And I want you to think about that now, because we're going to come back to it in about 20 minutes or so when we get talking to Jackie.
Awesome.
But I do want to recognize the lab. Serendipity Lab is, of course, one of our sponsors that helps us in so many ways. And Christmas is coming. And you know what we had yesterday is we had Christmas cookies, candies, and stuff. And it was awesome. There was just piles of Christmas goodies. And we're also going to have a Christmas party, and that's going to be next week. At Christmas party, we are going to have treats from Jen's Sweet Treats, which I can tell you from experience are amazing. I love the cupcakes that they make and all of their candy, and I was very thorough in trying everything out. I did a good job at that. And a couple of the people who are involved with the show, like Sandra, is going to have some last minute gift ideas. Jen's Sweet Treats is going to have some last minute gift ideas. And one of our neighbors here in the lab has beads and jewelry, and she's also going to have some last minute gift ideas. So it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be lots of games. Tell us about the games that we have, Tracy.
So I was recently introduced to this game where we ask you these really difficult questions that you would never have thought of in a million years. And to know the answers is pretty cool, but to play the game is a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
SMS, emergency, towing assistance.
That's an interesting background soundtrack. I love it. It makes me feel like I'm in an alien invasion movie.
I got you, Bill. I got you. Okay, so where are we at here?
We're at
this month we're talking about goal setting for the new year. That's why we have Jackie here today. And we just talked about having our Christmas party. Pretty excited about that. Did we say it was going to be live at Serendipity Labs? Did you say that part?
I don't know, but we can't say it enough, so keep repeating it.
Yep. So live at Serendipity Labs and on Zoom. So if you can't make it in person, just join us on Zoom and you'll still be able to participate in the cool games and gifts that we have to give away. And in January, we're talking all about sales, because why not start off the new year learning about how to sell what you got?
Making some money.
Yep. And then we have our fusion event, which, boy, we've got so much planning involved in that, you guys. You're not going to want to miss it.
It's a system, and I want to just touch on the system that we've created. So if you watch the show from the beginning, our first episode with Serena Talbot, through now when we're talking about goals, and you watch every episode, it takes you through mindset, strategy, and implementation. And that's what the fusion event is about. When we first talked to Serena, she talked about connecting with your future self and having the right mindset of success. And when we talked to Eleanor Beaton, she talked about clarity, and again, that future self, and Chris Rivera reaffirmed that. And a lot of that is the mindset of writing down your future self. The strategy is creating a plan. I recently did this over the past 3 months, and I just wanted to share what that looks like. The mindset and the strategy was 80% of the work, and the implementation is really 20% of the work. And the implementation is really easy once I did the mindset and the strategy, because it's all kind of chunked out and blocked out. That is what Fusion is about. Fusion is a condensed version of what we've done for the last 4 months to getting you from that mindset of embracing what it will look like in a year, giving you the strategies to build your business around your future self, and then the implementation tools. I could almost say that, implementation tools, just say it 3 times real fast. It'll get you going. To make it happen. And each presenter is going to be speaking for 10 minutes, and then they're going to have an action item. So it's going to be learn it, do it, learn it, do it. And we're going to get you accelerated and on the right path to crush it in 2022, so we can celebrate your business and your business success.
I'm so excited for that event, because we're going to have some interesting people there from start to finish. It's going to be a really good event.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the people that are joining here on Zoom, if you'd like to put your contact information in the chat, that would be great. Do some networking. That's what we're all here to do, is to connect, especially your LinkedIn profile. Joseph says he's just finished up his quarterly plan last week for next year. But he's all part of Action Coach, so I expect him to be on top of it.
Yes.
Tanya says she does quarterly plans also.
Nice. I love it. So, Tracy, you had some adventures this week. How's your head doing?
My head is getting better. It's getting better. Yes.
Yeah.
So last Thursday we for my business, Small Business Milwaukee, I have 2 Kims that work right side by side with me, and we went on a Christmas party adventure, and I surprised them, and I wanted to do something fun and exciting. So we went axe throwing, and I somehow banged the axe in the back of my head when I was throwing it. So that was interesting and weird at the same time. Yeah, it's gone now. I think I must have had the axe backwards or something, because how would you possibly do that?
Oh my, that sounds painful.
But on a successful note, we have been working towards building out some case studies to put on the website for clients that we have currently and previous clients, because I feel like when people are researching your information about you and they want to learn more about what you do, a case study explaining where the client was and the whole journey that you took them on until you have the finished product with them, or whatever you're doing still consistently with them, is a really good thing to have in your toolbox for people to see. So we started working on those. I'm pretty excited to get some of those up on the website.
It brings me back to when we had Michelle Murder on the show, and she talked about the different personality types. Someone's a blueprint, an action item, a blueprint person, an action person, nurturing person, or a knowledge person. And I think that case study really supports the knowledge person, the person who needs documentation and to see all the details about what you do when you're helping them with website design and social media. That's really important.
And sometimes people don't exactly know, they don't know where they're at until they've read some other people's stories, and then they can kind of relate to it, and then they can start to create where they're at by reading those. So I think that it'll be helpful.
Yep. And sometimes people just say, hey, I just want a website done. And they don't know
Sometimes
what
they
it-
do. Yeah.
They
Or
don't know what
maybe,
that means or what that looks like. And so
yeah.
for you to kind of give them a guide on what that would look like is very helpful.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Gail says in the chat that she does a goal plan, but also the one word of the year, which is one word focus, that is my trajectory that aligns with what I say yes to and what I say no to. Oh,
Nice.
that's like the word of the year. That's nice. That's
I
keeping
like it.
a very simple goal.
Mhm.
Barry says goal for 2022, develop online networking courses, write second book, get podcast launch. Barry's got a huge goal list.
He's got a big to-do list.
Yeah. Laura has a goal, just not showing up, coming up with the big picture plan, but Laura's got plenty of goals and she's got lots of info in here in the chat for us.
Nice. Nice.
So everybody's thinking about their 2022. It looks like. What
I
did you
love
do
it.
this last week, John?
Well, this last week I was in Galesville, Wisconsin, and that is between La Crosse and Minneapolis. And it's this little towny bar on a camping resort. So we've all been to a camping resort and we've been to the general store, right? Well, this particular general store is filled top to bottom with Devontae Adams signed jerseys and Gilbert Brown signed jerseys and helmets that are signed by the entire Packers. And none of this stuff was cheap, but it was in this little store in the middle of nowhere. We were doing interviews with some of the Green Bay Packers who played on the 1996 team. I'm a huge Green Bay Packer fan and a huge football fan because it's winter and fall. In the summer, it's baseball. But to meet the Green Bay Packers, meet Super Bowl champions, and to see all of this memorabilia, I was in heaven. But I have two stories that were really, really interesting. One is when I spoke to Caden, and I don't know if I told you about this last week. By repeating myself, it's because I'm old and I didn't take my mushrooms today. But there's a kid that we were interviewing for the Gilbert Brown Foundation. His name's Caden. He was born without arms and had a short prognosis on life. And he's now 15 and he's kicking ass. I mean, the kid is just rocking. And he was really nervous to be on camera, but when we got done, I left the camera on and I started talking to Gilbert Brown, and we got him to open up, and he talked about running track. And when Caden talked about running track, I said, what's that moment when you feel like you got smacked and your nerves go away? And he said, at 1 mile, I look at how I feel, and how I feel determines if I'm going to win or not. I thought that was pretty amazing that he has such a self-awareness in running track. The other thing that happened is I talked to Santana Dotson, and he was one of the defensive linemen for the Super Bowl champion 1996 Green Bay Packers.
Nice.
Kind of a big deal and a huge dude. And I asked him a question. I said, if you could share one item that you purchased for under $100 that has really changed your life. And his item that he shared was the book, Good to Great. And it's a $15 book. And I thought we could talk about that in our Vitamins for the Soul section coming up next.
That's awesome. That is a great book. I've read it. Or, I mean, I've listened to it.
Yeah?
Yep.
So we put our
Vitamins for the
information
soul.
in the chat, and our quote for the day is, setting goals is the first step to turning the invisible into the visible. And that's by Tony Robbins. And I see Tony Robbins is on the call today. Hey, Tony, thanks. So what were we going to do in this section?
We were going to ask everybody what they would do if they had $100 or how
That
they would
is-
spend. Remember?
Yeah, I don't, but I'm so glad that you reminded me. So do you want
Okay, so
to,
what is the question exactly? How does the question go?
something for under $100 that really changed your life?
Under
So-
$100 that really changed your life.
Benny, do you got something that you purchased for under $100 that really changed your life?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes, I do. So this laptop stand, small but subtle. I like being able to look eye level at the computer. And yeah, I won't go back. Oh, the other quick thing is blank paper. I used to have lined paper and then I went blank, never going back, changed my life. So actually, there you go, $5. That's it.
It's the little things. That's awesome.
Okay.
Who are you picking next?
Oh, you go ahead and pick them up.
All right. Let's
What-
see.
what-
I'm gonna try to
what-
find somebody with their
what
camera on.
hotel is that? The
How
Rio?
about Roy?
Okay.
Well, this would have been a long time ago, but when I started using legal pads, I decided that it was a whole lot better than
Okay.
doing everything digitally, which might go away whenever I don't want it to anyway. So, so legal pads have changed my life and I use them every day. Right now I'm using it as a matter of fact too. So it's definitely under $100. So
2000, I'm sorry. What was it?
It sounds like paper for the win so far today.
yeah.
Paper for the win.
Yeah. Joseph.
First thing that comes to mind is the book by Christopher Avery, The Responsibility Process. Read it probably 2 years ago, and the lessons have never stopped. And I connected with Christopher on Twitter while I was reading it and sort of like live tweeted what I was reading, and he connected with me, and it's been really, really cool ever since, because now we're friends on Twitter.
That's awesome. Can you put that book in the chat for everybody?
Sure, you bet.
Awesome. Gail. Oops, I
Oh.
pushed the wrong button on that one. I'll fix it.
I think you can hear me now.
Yep.
So I would say books have been like I put them in the chat. Really, I think I've said this before, but The Miracle Morning is, along with The Atomic Habits. You put those two books together, and you will definitely have a change in your life. How you start your morning and how you set your day up the night before is I don't know how. I mean, it's just I'm telling you, it's just it is a game changer for you. The other thing is John Maxwell, and all these guys. You can, like you said, Tracy, you can listen to these books. You don't have to sit and read them, because I like just putting the earbuds in and doing what I'm doing and then listening to it. You can YouTube everybody now. You could auto everything. But John Maxwell, there isn't a book out there that he hasn't touched on a subject that is so spot on. And TED Talks, I mean, they're free. All this stuff, TED Talks, what's going on in your world? Go find a TED Talk who's speaking on it. And, you're going to learn something from it. When I'm doing data entry and I have 2 monitors, I'm listening to something always. And it motivates me to like, oh yeah, that's good. And then I like the idea what I think Benny said. I'm spot on, although I got the line paper. But I like the idea because I never stay in the line, so why do I have them? But I think jotting it down and then keeping a book on it. So it was something my sister started years ago. And when you get these great quotes, like someone the other day said to me, the grass is not always greener on the other side, it's where you water it. And I was like, that's really good. And so I wrote it in this book, and now I have
That
all
is
this
really
book.
good.
And so
Yeah.
I'm hoping that someday one of my grandkids want to say, oh, here's grandma's nutty words she wrote and pictures she kept and recipes she never made. And so I stick it into this little book and I bring it, and it just sits there, and I put these things in it, and and then it hopefully I'm hoping that someday somebody, like really the grandkids, might grab hold of it, and maybe it does something for them.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Thanks. Okay, I think we've got time for one more. I'm gonna let this person in quick. Let's see. Joe Matz. How about you?
Okay. Yes, I've been thinking about this the whole time folks have been talking. And I recently bought a lifetime subscription to 12-minute books. They've got 2,500 books that they summarize in written form and also a 12-minute audio. And they take the main ideas, and that's what you get in 12 minutes, main ideas from 2,500 books. It's,
Wow.
I like reading, but I like getting stuff in 12-minute burst of information also.
Oh, can you put the link to that in the chat too, in case anybody wants to check it out? Or the title of it?
I think it's an app. I got it on a lifetime subscription. I'm not sure that's available anymore.
Mhm.
But I'll figure something out.
At least what it's called or something, so people can
Yeah.
research it. That'd be great.
Okay, very good.
Awesome. Thanks. Well, moving on, John, moving on. What do we got next?
Next, we are going to hear from the Serendipity Lab and bring our first guest in.
Awesome.
Back to 1. Or back to 3. Yes. Okay. So Jackie, coaching since 2014. Her experience as a client and a coach helps her understand coaching and business ownership from both sides of the coin. As one of the top 25 coaches and action coach in the entire world, and that's huge because there's a ton of action coaches, she can look at your business and pinpoint exactly what's hurting your business, bottom line, and why. And with that, welcome, Jackie, to the show.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here. And we have to ask you, what was your one thing under $100 that really changed your life?
Actually, it was my full focus planner.
Ah,
The full focus planner, I don't know what it is per month, but it's under $100, and it helped me get organized, helped me write the things that I need to do, prioritize the top 3 things. It's been a game changer for me.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And the full focus planner, you can get that. It's an online product.
Yes, and it's Michael Hyatt.
Michael Hyatt.
Yep, full focus planner.
He's good at what he does, that's for sure. He's got the goods.
So Jackie, you have a 6 steps to success. So let's start with the foundation. And if someone does not have a foundation in place, what would be a good quarterly goal to set, and how can you help people accomplish that?
Okay, so let's just go over the 6 steps. And the first thing that we talk about is foundation. And there are 4 keys to mastery. There's destination mastery. Do you know where you're going? Because if you don't know where you're going, how is anybody else going to know where you're going? Mm-hmm. Then there's time mastery. Are you mastering? It's really self-mastery. Are you using your time to the highest and best that you can, or are you doing things that don't make a difference, right? So there's that. Then there's delivery mastery. Are you delivering on time, on budget, and with the highest quality? And then the last one is financial mastery. Understanding what your numbers are. Do you have financial statements? Do you have numbers in your business that help you understand that you're successful? So those are 4 areas. So and these things should be written down. So in terms of destination mastery, if you don't know where you're going and it's not written down and it's in your head, that tells me it's a dream, not a goal. Mm. So that might be a great place to start in terms of goals.
Yeah.
Is understanding where you're going and then looking at your time and what are you doing with your time.
And you can do that in a number of different ways. I know some people like to use the Post-it notes.
Yes.
You put them all over the window. You get a bunch of different colors,
Yes.
little Office Depot run. That's fun. You got to take a picture of it and put it up on Facebook so everybody knows that you're the B word, and busy is the B word. Mm-hmm. And The other way of doing it is, making a list, just writing it down, or you could use a spreadsheet or Google Doc. What else have you seen in organizing that plan?
Right. So part of the first step to having the plan is really understanding, like in a year, where do you want to be? I've seen lots of people do it. Calendar is a good way to do it. A big sheet of paper that might be something you can hang on the wall is a good place to do it. But the key there is really having the plan, writing the plan down. It can be even in a notebook. It can be in an online notebook, as I heard a couple people say. It can be anywhere you want it to be, but the key there is it's written down.
Yeah.
At least to start,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise it's not real.
Yeah, and everybody's creative in a different way.
Yes.
And so find your way that works for
Yes.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people need that detail of that. I need a spreadsheet and I need
Sure.
to put the little lines in there. And some people like the Post-it notes. And it's finding your own recipe for success.
Right. But there's a lot of basics
Yeah.
to doing that. I mean, we were talking about goal setting. The first step in terms of goal setting is a SMART goal, right?
Mhm.
Specific, measurable, achievable, results driven, and time bound. The other piece of that is also, is it a goal or is it a to do?
Mhm.
And understanding the distinction between the two.
Yeah. And you might work with coaches. Do you work with a lot of coaches in heart-based businesses? And
I work with a lot of everybody, it seems. So
yeah.
yes.
And so sometimes when I hear
Mhm.
the heart-based businesses, which is a lot of people out here are in the heart-based business, when you set a goal, it's like, I don't want to set $1 million goal or a money goal. I want to set a impact goal. So it can be either, right?
Well, if you're a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
I would always have a money goal.
Yeah.
Always. Because your business, it won't survive if you don't make money. And that's the whole reason you're there. So even if it's a heart-based business, you always want to have a money goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be the money goal is X, and how you can impact people is how you get there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I'm glad that you clarified that, because a lot of times it's like, well, I just want to help 100 people. But if you help 100 people and it costs you $100,000,
Yes.
you're going to be broke, and then you're not going to be able to help them that well.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Your plan is, eliminating chaos and creating predictable cash flow.
Right.
And that's the foundation of the business.
Right.
Next, you talk about leveraging a team, and I love leveraging.
Right.
Leveraging is my favorite word, I think. So tell us about teams, and you do a lot of hiring. So how can solopreneurs, how can businesses really use teams and use leveraging to make that next level?
Right. So how you can use teams and leveraging. So leveraging is all about having systems in place, right? So the more systems you have in place, the easier it will be to train and hire people. And so as you're hiring someone, part of this, I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm having a really hard time hiring," right? But if you don't have a lot of these things in place, how are you going to be a great company to work for? Right. So that's one way to think about it differently than lots of other people do. They're thinking about, oh, I need the perfect employee. But really, it's, are you a great place to work? Are you a great boss? Looking from the inside of you and inside of your business, and having systems in place is one way to do that. And then having teams is another way to help you as the business owner work on the things, use your time efficiently, and work on the things that are going to help grow your business.
You touched on something really good there, and I want to go back and talk about that a little bit more. You talked about having clarity and goals for hiring people and for building your team, and that just sparks something. When we're expanding and we're growing, we're the B word, and we're just like, oh, I just need some people to do some stuff, and then you hire them and you get them to do these things, but you're not really stepping back and saying, hey, the reason I am the B word right now is because I didn't plan well enough. So how about I plan?
Yes.
Get some clarity in that goal. And then when I bring somebody in, they're going to say, oh, here's where we're going. Here's
Yes.
the destination. We're not just wandering around in the
Right.
ether.
Right. And
Yeah.
part of that destination is inspiring and enrolling people to come along with you.
Mhm.
And that's what helps you hire people. As they want to be inspired and they want to be, even if it seems like it's an impossible goal, to where you're headed is why people want to get on board with you. And things like, do you understand who your customers are? Do you understand really truly what makes you unique in terms of that? So all of those things are foundational, but it really starts with the mastery, knowing your numbers, knowing where you're going, using your time well.
So Tracy has a question for you
Yes.
from Gail.
I have a few questions from the audience here. I'm just cruising over you like crazy over here in Zoom land. Okay, so we have a question from Chris. He wants to know, is crunching numbers a number goal?
Well, let's put it up against a SMART goal, right? Crunching numbers. What's the result you're looking for from crunching numbers? That's what makes it a goal versus a to-do. What's the result that you're looking for? So if you're
Chris,
crunching go ahead.
Chris, did you want to ask her any more about that? No, you're okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Were you finished with your answer, Jackie?
Well, the key there is if you don't know the numbers in your business, how are you keeping score? How are you measuring success? And having great goals is one way to do it, and not just to-dos. You might hear me say this a lot. What's the result you're looking for? Because if you don't, if you have your goal written out and there's no result you're looking for, or you're doing some tasks, but you don't know what the result is of doing those tasks, then we have to go back to the drawing board and rewrite the goal.
Focus on the results.
And Karen has a question. What was the second mastery? But Gail also says, can you break down the steps to each category? Where are you going this year? Time management, etc. So I don't know if those are combined.
Okay, so
meaning like the same thing.
Thinking about destination mastery, where are you headed? When you think about December 31st, 2022, what would make you say you had a great year? So start with the end in mind and then back into it and say, all right, quarter one, I need to be here. Quarter two, I need to do this. Quarter three, I need to do this. But it's starting with the end in mind. In terms of destination, long-term destination, really thinking about what do you want this business to do? What's your legacy? Those might be some other ways to think about destination. But I think for the audience, as you're creating your goals, think about where you want to be by the end of December 2022. It's New Year's Eve and you're celebrating. What would make you say, I had a great year this year? And then the next step of mastery, so it's not only destination, but it's time mastery. So if you're, one way to tell if you're doing things that are not the highest and best for your business is you're all in business, I'm assuming, to make money. So if you're in business to make money, what are those things that are not money-making activities that you're doing and you're spending your time on? One thing that a lot of people don't realize is as a business owner, your time is worth $500 an hour, $250 an hour. So as you're looking at the things you're doing every day, would you pay someone to do $250 an hour to do those tasks? So that's one way to measure it, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing your highest and best tasks that are going to move your business where you want it to go in most of the time, right? So that's the time part of it. And there's lots to each of these things. So then there's the delivery mastery. Do you have a system in place to deliver consistently every single time? Is it written down? Are you following it? So as an example, I think in a couple upcoming shows, you're talking about sales. Do you have a sales process? So to make sure that you're delivering every single time.
Mhm.
Do you have a, if you're send a service business, for example, how do you onboard people? Do you onboard them the same way every single time? Things like that.
Mhm.
And then there's financial mastery, and that's always a big one. KPIs, or key performance indicators in your business, will help you understand how successful you are. So what are the key performance indicators in your business? It might be, in terms of a service business, it might be dollars overall. If I'm working 20 hours a week, what's my average dollar?
Mhm.
If how many leads are coming in? How many of those convert into customers? What's your average dollar sale? How many transactions do you do on average with a client? What's your profit margin? So those are all key performance indicators and financial measurements that you can say, hey, great, I was completely successful this month or this year.
We talked a lot about a lot of systems to make, and it's KPI systems and financial systems and sales systems, and it may seem overwhelming, but people can chunk this out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and once you chunk it out, I recently had this experience where I mapped out my whole year, and I looked at a year from now, if we're doing this much video business and this much in sales, what will this aspect of the video production look like? And it looks much different than it does right now.
Yes.
And it's that system that's in place. So Rory Varden talks about automation is compound interest for your time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
So thinking about the system, and then how do I automate it?
Yes.
Right? What are the steps? How do I automate it? And then when you bring on an employee, for example, you have them test it, and then you have them add to it.
And delegate it.
And
Either
delegate it.
automate it or delegate
Yeah,
it.
to automate it or delegate it.
Yep.
You absolutely
Make it happen.
absolutely.
I
Yep.
love it. That is automate and delegate. We'll have to make a nice little acronym for it or something. I don't know.
Right.
Something.
Right.
We need a coffee cup with that, don't we? Yep. I'm thinking.
So Chris has a question. What are some of the things that you would automate? Your marketing, or what are some examples of things that you would automate in your business?
Right. Yep. Marketing is one you could automate possibly. So one great example of automation, I think, is being a guest on your show, right? You have automated the process that for someone who's a guest on your show, we get emails and we get, things that here's what to do and things like that, versus you typing them up every single time. You automate them and they go out at a certain time. That takes that headache away. Think about repeatable things you do, a repeatable process that you do every single time, and then figure out how can you automate it. It might be a CRM, it might be your website, it might be some kind of a program to automate it. But that's the most efficient way to do it.
It's the most efficient way, and I think it's the most effective,
Right.
because Tracy spends a lot of time building all that automation, and she is just amazing at doing that. And if it's a system, we can see where it's fallen apart or where we can do better. Whereas if we're just kind of like, we gotta write an email and we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we don't know what we wrote or anything that we've done.
Right.
And so it's just kind of, it can't fix it. And so it's always got to be a system and if you have a system, then you can say, okay, you take the system, now you try it. Oh, that's the problems with it. And then we can improve it.
Right. So not only can you improve it, but you also, you are using your time a lot better.
Yep.
To grow your business. Right. So the more you can automate, the better off you are.
Yep.
Completely.
Absolutely.
So Jackie, how does action coaching help businesses be accountable and achieve their quarter goals? So what is your program, Action Coach? Like, what do you offer?
So we offer,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead. So
what does the
we,
experience of action coach look like? Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I would just keep going.
That's okay. So basically what we work with people on is time, team, or money. That's really the bottom line. And the biggest thing that we do is help you keep you accountable to your goals or to where you want to go. Your goals are for you, they're not for us, but it's up as a very interested third party. We can help you, hold you accountable. We can help you get, sometimes we work on mindset, what's getting in the way, and we can, we do it in lots of different ways. We do it in groups, we do it in one-to-one. We have small groups and big groups, and then we have one-to-one, which is a little more customized, and we really spend a lot more time where you meet with your coach every other week, just you and your coach. But the group programs, we talk about topics that are relevant. And in the smaller group programs, you take 3 businesses, you learn from each other, plus you get a little custom time. So we have something for everyone. The very first step to even exploring that is for us to do a business diagnostic where we sit down with you, we look at every area of your business, and then we see if there's some opportunities in your business to see if we can help, because we have to be able to, the investment in coaching has to pay itself back to you over time. If not, we can't take you on as a client. So the really big thing is we want to make sure that we, by the strategies that we work with you on, that we can get the return on investment for you.
Awesome.
I think it's so important to remember to invest in yourself. We invest in our business by buying a new computer or by buying a new chair. But investing in your business by getting a coach is so important because it's gonna pay you back. That chair is never gonna pay you back.
Well, it might help your back a little.
Oh, it could help your back. Okay, yeah, I see where you. That was good. We tied it all together.
We do have another question from Gail. Jackie, can you talk on best practices for planning a new year for business development?
The first step would be what is the result? I'll say that again. What's the result you're looking for? Right? So in business development, what is the result you're looking for? Is it number of new clients? What is the result? So that's the place to start with the end in mind. And then you want to make sure that you're doing the types of activities, you're in front of the types of people that you need to be in front of in order to make sure that you get to the result. So that's a pretty broad question, but the key is to start with the end in mind. What are you looking to accomplish? What is going to, for your time in business development? So is it networking of number of activities at networking events, social media posts? Do you understand who your target is? So you're spending a lot of time with the people that are truly in line to buy from you. So if that's another whole nother topic, but understanding who your target market is. And so as an example, if you're a chiropractor and you say everyone with a spine, that is not a target market, right? A target market might be anybody who works in a manufacturing position and is on their feet 8 hours a day. That's much more of a target, right? Because that is going to help make your marketing dollars also a lot more efficient. Is if you really understand why you're unique and what your target market, exactly your target market or target markets are.
And I can attest that when you create very clear goals of what next year looks like, 3 years looks like, and then you break down all the systems that would be in place, what you'd be doing, how a customer would be interacting with you. When, we've had a number of guests, whether it was Chris Rivera, Eleanor Beaton, Maggie last week, and coaches, when they talk about mindset, always talk about embracing that future self. When you do it, things become very clear. Like if you're sitting there saying, I don't know what to make a LinkedIn post about, or I don't know what to make an email about, or a video about, It's because if you don't have that clarity, your clients aren't going to have that clarity.
Right.
If you write down, this is what my life looks like in a year,
Mhm.
own it, live it, and see it, all of those questions become very clear about what type of video to make, what type of LinkedIn post,
Yes.
and how often you should be doing it, because you're going to be fired up.
Yes.
You're going to be pumped. You're going to be like, I know what my future self looks like,
Yes.
and I cannot wait to get there. So I'm going to go make time and make it a must to create that content.
Right. One thing I would add to that is, who do you need to be?
Yeah.
Who do you need to be in order to make that happen? It's not, we have a formula for success called be times do equals have. And we always know what we want to have. Most of the time we know what we need to do, but who we need to be might be a different story. And as an example, if you are a business, you own a $100,000 a year business, you make decisions based on where you are now. But now you're at $500,000 a year, who you need to be is different. Now you're at $1 million a year, who you need to be is different. So as you're going on this journey, make sure that you are also working on who do you need to be, which is your identity, right? What you say to yourself when you're by yourself, about yourself, to yourself.
Next level success
Yes.
requires next level thinking.
Yes.
And if you don't got it, you need a mentor or a coach to
Yes.
help say, oh no, that's not how $1 million businesses think.
Yes.
You got to get out of that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, we have one more question in the chat,
Okay.
because I know we're getting close to wrapping up. Best advice for business developers in today's virtual meetings?
Make it about, make it about the other person. What is it? How are you solving their pain point? And sometimes the way their pain point isn't exactly what you do. Their pain point might be, I'm going to get fired if I don't get this done. Help them solve their pain point. And that's how you'll make sales.
Yes, I
great
love
advice.
it. Yep.
That's great.
Think about others
Yeah.
first.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And Jackie, do you have any cool events coming up that you want to share with our audience?
We do. We have our Make More, Work Less workshops. And I know there was a slide for that because I don't exactly remember when they are.
Oh, so there is a slide up there that's 6B, I think, Z. And it is January 5th and
Yes.
6th. You have your Ascend Your 5-year business plan.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much.
So
And you can
that's
find that information on our website at theconnectshow/Jackie Zach.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yep, put all that info up there. And then Tracy, back to your SMART goal. What is one SMART goal you have for Q1?
Well, I think I already started it with my case studies. I think the case studies are my SMART goal for Q1. And I've started them by realizing that I'm not very good at, I found the things that I want to include in the case study, but I wasn't good at pulling it out of myself. So I had to have somebody ask me a bunch of questions about it, and then they can write the material for me. So that was where I was stuck for a long time, because I've been wanting to do them for a long time, but I wasn't able to spend the time getting it out of my head onto paper. So when I figured out the solution on how to do that, then now I think it should go pretty fast, and it will be measurable by seeing how many people read it, by analytics and what I do with it. And
So
stuff like
how
that.
many people do you want to read it?
That's a good question. 1,000 million?
1,000 million, right?
I only want the people to read it that it's going to make a difference for them. So it really doesn't have to be a huge number. It has to be more about the right people reading it than how many people reading it.
So that's part of creating your SMART goal and being really specific about it, because getting your case studies done, when are you going to get them done? are they all of them? Are they two of them? Being really specific about that. And done or not is also measurable. It doesn't have to be a number. It can be it's done or it isn't done, right?
Mhm.
Something to think about is also done and implemented or just done.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I might have two goals. Done
Yep.
is one and implemented is number two.
yes,
Mhm.
And then who knows what's going to come up after that, after because then it opens the doors for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
right.
Mhm.
You never know where it's going to take you. That's what happens. You do one and then it opens the door for a million other things.
Jackie, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. This has been very informative. I got a lot out of it. I feel like I am in quarterly planning mode for the last week. So to have you here, you just brought it all together. I'm feeling it. Woo!
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It has been so much fun.
That's great. And we're going to do a little networking report, and I get to do it today. I'm kind of pumped.
Yeah, he is pretty pumped about this.
I am. And I think we have a graphic under the media player, Z, and I don't know if I told you about it. So we may or may not have a graphic for it. But here's what's happening. What's happening is we have camera 3 or camera 1, whatever camera. Epic is a new business connection networking event starting January 7th, which is a Friday, 10 a.m. And if you don't know what Epic Business Connections is, Epic Business Connections is this huge group of people. They're from the East Coast, and they're from Florida, and they're from Raleigh, Durham. And we have this a networking franchise, a networking chapter up here in Wisconsin, where you have an opportunity to share your business, connect with other business owners, and develop those business relationships. And guess what? It's free. It doesn't cost anything. There's no dues. There's no weekly meetings. We might have a golf outing to raise some money or something, but other than that, show up every week, bring your awesome self, bring your 30-second pitch. And if you don't know how to do a 30-second pitch or post your information in the chat, we have some videos that are going to be made on our website so that we can give you the perfect pitch so you can deliver with all of your greatness and your awesomeness and share your business. Most of all, people who go to Epic business networking events, they double their business, they triple their business because they're creating really great connections. Results may vary by your participation and what you do, but you have the potential for really, doing a lot of great things in the Epic business. And Karen and everyone else, I am going to be sending you an email, and you're going to see this all over my LinkedIn, so you will not miss the Epic Business Connections Wisconsin event. I promise.
Gary wants to know if Brian Daly runs that.
It is a Brian Daly joint, yes. Yep. We are working with Brian on opening the North.
It's so cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. I encourage people to attend.
Next week, what do we got there, Tracy?
We got the Christmas show.
We got some goods for that one. Oh, we talked about it earlier.
I'm
What are
so
you looking
excited
forward to?
because we're going to have lots of sparkles, and because I'm all about the sparkles.
You are.
And it will be virtual and in person, and we're going to have games. We're going to have cupcakes. We're going to have all sorts of we have giveaways. So it's a party.
Yeah, and Chris, you can join us on Zoom. It's going to be virtual, hybrid. We have a big, huge space out there, and we can fit like 40 people in there. Like I said, we got last minute gift ideas, lots of great things to eat. And we're working on that coffee thing.
Yeah. And it's a hybrid event. So even if you're on Zoom or if you're in person, you can both be part of the activities at the same time, which is so cool about the new hybrid way of events.
All about it.
Yep. So thanks for everybody for showing up today, and thanks to Serendipity Labs for being our sponsor.
And thank you to all the people who make this show happen. Tracy, thank you so much for all that you do. Xander is running the board over there, and he's doing a great job. Kim is here in spirit, and she's always here doing stuff and participating. Sandra helps us look good, and everybody here at the lab, Emily and David, for all the hospitality, the wonderful water and coffee, and all the candy I got to eat yesterday. That was pretty great.
And thanks to Jackie for being our guest today. It was totally informative and got me pumped, excited, looking towards our goals.
Thank you. It was a great pleasure. Happy New Year, everyone.
And we will be seeing you soon, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. With that, we are done.
Awesome.
We need a solid closing and ending. We need a thing.
Yes, we need a
sign-off.
thing.
Walter Cronkite.
We've been talking about it. We've
Yep.
got some plans for that.
Yeah. Well, for 2022, we will have our Walter Cronkite. And if you don't know who that is, then you're very young. You're making me feel bad.
All right, bye guys.
Hey, can I ask Tracy a quick question or John?
Okay,
Hello,
what's the
Chris.
question?
Oh, Tracy.
Yeah.
I noticed that last week I tried to log into your show and it said, I'm not in your country. So does Zoom have a second version of Zoom now?
We were
that-
trying a different link last week.
And it would allow me in. It said you're not living in
Oh.
USA, so it denied me access. So
Hmm.
I thought, oh, maybe I'm not allowed to watch the show anymore by Zoom. So they have
No.
two levels now. They got on.zoom and they
Uh-huh.
got zoom.us. So I didn't know what the difference is between these
Yeah.
two platforms.
I think last week we tried the on Zoom and then
Yeah.
we weren't able to make it work like we thought. So then we switched it back to the Zoom one, but maybe you weren't able to get back to the other Zoom one.
Ah, okay.
So I think that's where the hang up came in.
Yeah. So now I just use your regular link, right, that you send me when I register for the Connect show. It's a big box. It says join meeting in progress. It's a big blue box, right?
Mhm.
I don't do
Yeah.
that on Zoom one because that would throw me off again. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah.
So that's good feedback because if we're going to be limited using on Zoom, then we obviously don't want to use that, or we might have to change the settings or something.
Yeah. I just thought I'd let you know because I was surprised when it said you can't attend this event because you don't live in the USA. You're not allowed
Mhm,
to, or whatever
mhm.
the message
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, we're definitely going to address that and kind of figure out the on Zoom part. Hey, Chris, you're down in Texas?
We can't see you, John.
Oh, he'll turn the camera on.
Okay.
I think you have to turn the key off. There we go. I can't hear Chris. Can you hear Chris?
No. We need to stop streaming somewhere.
How's that? You guys got me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
All right. Sorry, I was set up for remote production, so I got virtual cable this, virtual cable that going on.